Earth never suddenly loses control. It has always been moving so slowly we mistake it for stability. But while we sleep, tectonic plates are grinding beneath the oceans. Magma is building inside volcanoes. Cracks are spreading across ice sheets. And the climate is storing energy like a loaded weapon. The next super disaster will not begin. It already has. We just haven't heard it yet. Humans keep asking, where will the next disaster strike? But the real question is, where is the countdown already happening? Because super disasters are not born in a moment. They are built slowly until one day the world shatters like glass. If Earth has a wound, it is the Pacific Ring of Fire. From Japan, Taiwan, and the Philippines, down to Indonesia and New Zealand, then across the ocean to Alaska, California, and Chile. Here, Earth's crust is torn like fabric. Every quake is only a warning. The real megaquake is still waiting for its moment. Earthquakes collapse cities, but volcanoes can blind the sky itself. The true threat isn't an ordinary volcano. It is the supervolcano capable of altering Earth's climate in a single eruption. Yellowstone, Lake Toba in Indonesia, Campi Flegrei in Italy. They appear as beautiful lakes and valleys, but beneath them lies a sealed inferno. A tsunami is not a wave. It is the entire ocean standing up. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami wiped out hundreds of thousands of lives, but it was only a reminder. If a larger undersea fault ruptures or an underwater volcano collapses, a tsunami could swallow coastal cities within minutes. And the most terrifying part is, before it arrives, the sea may look perfectly calm, like a silent judgment. We assume ice melts slowly, but ice collapses suddenly. Greenland, West Antarctica. These are moving continents of ice. Once their ice shelves break, sea level rise becomes a floodgate opening. Not a story of the distant future, but a countdown already underway. When the oceans warm, storms grow stronger. Hurricanes are fueled by the ocean's rage. Super typhoons are becoming the new normal. The true disaster is what follows. Blackouts, shortages, collapse. It's a city slowly losing its breath. Some disasters simply silence the world. The next pandemic could come from wildlife or thawing permafrost. When it arrives, there may be no alarm. Where will it strike? On a fault line, beneath a volcano, along a coastline? It will strike where the world is most fragile. We believe we live in civilization, but we still live on a wild planet. It will not ask, "Are you ready?" It will simply arrive. Like darkness, the world will remember. Humans are only a thin layer of dust on Earth's surface. On the west coast of North America, there is a fracture so quiet it feels unreal. It sleeps. It stays silent. Like a giant serpent buried beneath the ocean floor, its name is the Cascadia Subduction Zone, stretching from Vancouver Island in Canada down through Oregon to Northern California. Earthquakes here come every few centuries, and that silence means only one thing. Pressure is building. When it awakens, it may unleash a magnitude 9+ megaquake. A tsunami could strike within minutes. Everything could break like bone. It will look like a movie, but it will be day one of reality. Japan may understand earthquakes the most. They monitor the crust with the world's best technology. They train for evacuation and build cities designed to resist nature. And yet, Japan fears one name, the Nankai Trough, a subduction zone like a blade running along Japan's southern coastline. History tells us it ruptures every 100 to 200 years. When it breaks next, the impact will be global. A magnitude 8 to 9 earthquake followed by a devastating tsunami. Coastal towns are only the beginning. It may destroy global supply chains, financial markets, and the economic arteries of Asia. Disasters don't stay on the ground. They spread through the world's connections to every corner. The Mediterranean is the cradle of civilization, but it is also a cage of fire. In Italy, two volcanoes stand like shadows, Mount Vesuvius and the darker Campi Flegrei. Vesuvius once destroyed Pompeii. That is not myth. It is a frozen moment of history. But Campiflagre is an entire supervolcano caldera. If it erupts, ash could darken Europe's skies. Air travel would collapse. Agriculture would suffer. Civilization would remember its fragility. Some tsunamis are caused by the collapse of islands, giant piles of unstable rock. They appear solid but are built from layers of debris. If one side slides into the sea, the ocean is forced aside. This is not a wave, it is a wall. The Canary Islands and Hawaii are high-risk regions. A tsunami could cross an entire ocean, reaching another continent hours later. Size is all that matters. There is a disaster with no explosion or tsunami. It is simply rising temperatures, yet it kills. Heat waves are the most underestimated catastrophe. They kill more than most disasters combined. They bring down the elderly and suffocate infants. Power grids fail, forests ignite. When the air itself becomes fire, we understand the truth. We are not built to survive everywhere. We only lived within a narrow temperature window and mistook it for safety. The silent giants are waking up, and the world as we know it is standing on the edge. Fire itself is not the disaster. The disaster is when fire becomes uncontrollable. When forests dry, winds strengthen, and temperatures rise, fire becomes a new kind of weather. It creates its own wind, its own storms, its own lightning. It runs like a living creature, through valleys, over highways, and into cities. Australia burned, California burned, Canada burned. And these were not exceptions. They were trailers of the future. A true super disaster may not be a single event. It may be a chain reaction. An earthquake destroys the power grid. The grid collapses. Hospitals shut down. Hospitals shut down. Rescue slows. Rescue slows. Social order fractures. Order collapses. Food shortages begin. Shortages create panic. Panic multiplies the disaster. The most terrifying part of a super disaster is this. It doesn't just destroy buildings, it destroys the systems we trust to survive. If you ask scientists, where will the next super disaster strike, they will say, we don't know the exact time, but we know it will happen. Because Earth is a planet that releases energy. Its fire, oceans, wind, and ice are simply the planet breathing. And the only certainty is this. The next disaster will not follow human schedules. It will not wait for construction projects. It will not wait for emergency drills. It will not wait for savings accounts. One day it will simply happen, and the world will reshuffle itself. Maybe the next super disaster will strike Japan. Maybe California. Maybe Indonesia. Maybe the collapsing ice of Antarctica. But the real answer is, it will strike where humanity feels most confident. Because we always believe technology can control everything. Buildings can resist everything. Civilization can outlast everything. But Earth does not care about our beliefs. It doesn't hate us, it doesn't love us, it simply functions. And one day, in a single moment, it will remind us, we are not the masters of this planet. We are only a brief page in its endless story. But if you think this is the most terrifying ending, you haven't seen the next kind of disaster, because there is one catastrophe that doesn't come from the ground, not from the ocean, not from the sky. It comes from space. Ambient sound of deep space rumble, visual focus on the approaching asteroid, dramatic musical drop, final silence.